And good morning, this is Mike Lodge on the WBT. Once again here to talk about business, but today, because I've got to step away from business just for a second here, we're going to talk about politics. In this politics that is becoming really, really disgusting to watch. I mean, it is disgusting. So Nancy, did you have a bad hair day? I mean, this is probably one of the worst bad hair days you have ever seen anybody have, is when Nancy Pelosi decides that she's better than the rest of us and she goes into a hair salon that she wasn't supposed to be in without a mask and gets her hair done. I didn't see anything special about this hairdo, but I did see a lot of nonsense. And then what does she do after she gets caught? She points the finger and says, I was set up. This is a setup, and I deserve an apology. She doesn't feel that she needs to apologize to America or to her constituents. No, it's somebody else's fault, and she was set up. I have never seen so much stupidity in my life. Where a politician thinks that they are better than you. Same thing with Cuomo out of New York. You see him walking down the street with his dog, no mask. But he requires and he lectures you every single day about how you need to wear a mask. We have these double standards, right? They tell us to do something, but then they do something that they tell us not to do. And if they catch us at what they're doing, they're going to fine us or they're going to put us in jail. So, small businesses continue to fail because Democrats decide that their power is more important than your business. They don't want to see you survive. They want to see you fail. And with these double standards of wearing masks and not wearing masks, and listen, what did we see the other day? We saw de Blasio coming out of a restaurant without a mask, but he was sitting down eating. But yet he has a rule that says, I'm not going to make any decision on eating inside the restaurant until the end of September. We have a stupid group of politicians out there who should not be in office. Now, these are individuals who really want to see us fail. I have come to that conclusion day after I see these nonsensical moves that these politicians are making that have the label Democrat on them. It's worthless. So Nancy had a really bad hair day. Good. Because that head that's on top of her shoulders is not thinking very well. I mean, literally, to blame it on the hair salon owner. I was set up. This is not right. I was lied to. My gosh, come on, Nancy. Just be a human being for a moment instead of a politician and say, you know what, I goofed up. I should not have done it. I know the rules of the city. I know I wasn't supposed to go get my hair done. I could have done something else. So I apologize to the American people for putting you through a bad hair day. We are in trouble, my friends. We are truly, truly in trouble because we have politicians that don't think. All they want to do is rule, but they don't want to think about using common sense on how it affects the American people, and it affects us greatly, tremendously. California is way out of control. I mean, we all have to admit that. California and New York, those two states are completely out of control. They have leaders there who have decided that what they say must be done and that it's going to cost you. So whatever I say that has to be done is going to cost you a bundle in taxes. Already in the state legislature there, they are talking about raising taxes because they have a shortfall. They're running out of money in their budget. I must say one other thing, okay? And this really pisses me off. And it should also piss off the gay community. Okay? If you're in the gay community in Los Angeles or San Francisco or any part of that state, and you see that the state legislature just passed a bill that's going to the governor's desk that says if a gay individual has sex with a minor, it's no longer a crime. Every single one of you have brothers and you've got sisters out there, and if anybody were to have sex with a gay individual that's much older than them, now it is no longer a crime because it has to do with gay sex. When does that ever have anything to do with it? Just because you have the label gay means that you're above everybody else, above every single other criminal out there? Come on, you guys. You have got to think about what's going on in that state. What are they going to decriminalize next? There's one DA in California. I can't remember what city or what name she is. I can see her face in my mind. But she says that if somebody is looting, and if you're going to charge them with the crime of looting, you've got to look at their economic status, the economic situation. Maybe it's justified for them to loot. A district attorney in California is saying that, and yet Californians, they sit there and they do nothing. I am so thankful that I moved out of California starting 3 years ago. I started my move out, finalized my move out of California last July. I hated to move out of California. I hated it more than anything else because I was born there. I was born in Vista, California. That is my home state. And in my heart, it's still in my home state. I'm still fighting for you guys in California. I'm still fighting for you guys. Now the state legislature is going to go on a 4-month leave. They will not be back until 2021. And there's a whole bunch of things that need to be done. EDD needs addressing because it's out of control. But the state is out, the politics there. If you want to know stupidness, you have to look at California because they are out of control. And what I don't understand is that the citizens of California, they do nothing. They just sit there and they take it. The state legislature and the Senate and the governors keep slapping California's faces, and they still take it. But they don't stand up and they don't fight for what needs to happen in California. I'm telling you, this election, this election in November is so very important because it's time that we clean house. You in California, it's time that you clean house. It's your responsibility to clean up your state. New York, it's your responsibility to clean up your state. Any other state that's out there who has a liberal-driven agenda state from Democratic politicians, it's time that you clean up your state. No more of this defunding the police. This is the most stupid, asinine thing I have ever heard of. Because what do we see now? We see crime rates going up. Los Angeles, California, the whole state of California, the crime rates have risen tremendously because they have no one in control with their right mind to say, okay, we need better law enforcement. We need to really get our law enforcement wrapped around this crime issue. Police officers don't want to do anything at the moment because they don't know what the politicians are going to do to them. If they are in California and if they are doing their job as a police officer, they know that on their back there's a big old target from a politician who wants to take that police officer down. That's how bad it is in California. Also in New York. De Blasio is the worst mayor that has ever hit New York. So, listen, we as voters, remember this, put this in your mind. Our vote matters. Our lives matter, and our nation matters. And if we don't do something as voters by exercising that big gun that we have that's called a vote, and take out these politicians who are doing so much damage to this nation, we are to blame for it. Californians, I blame you for letting your state get out of control. New York, I blame you New Yorkers and you guys in New York City for letting your communities and your state and the government getting out of control. It's your fault. You're the ones that voted these idiots into office. So if you want change, if you really want driven change in your states, in your communities, it's up to you in your vote. Remember, your vote matters, your vote matters, your vote matters. Remember that. So we have Joe Biden going over into Wisconsin today. He's going to sit down and meet with this family that had their son shot by the police officer. Unfortunately, to that story of that individual that got shot, there's a much bigger story. Much bigger story of his life of crime and criminality and abuse to women. You have to remember, on that day, there was a call from a woman. And she said, please come to my house because I have an individual here that's abusing my life here. I mean, he is causing trouble. He's causing a crime happening right in front of me. I need the police here. So the police go there and they find out that he has these criminal record and that he was sexually abusing somebody there at that crime scene. So the police step in, try to arrest him. He tries to run from them. They taser him, and then they have to shoot him. And then we learn about all of his stories of prior records. And so we're thinking, I'm thinking, why is no one trying to protect the woman who made the call into the police, the one that was in trouble by this criminal? Where are the women voices to help protect this woman from abuse? And we don't hear any voices out there. We hear no one saying anything. But you have a whole bunch of politicians, especially Joe Biden, who jump to conclusions and automatically start blaming the police officers. Should he have been shot that many times? Probably not. But you had a whole big situation going on where he was running to his car to get his knife to protect himself or to attack a police officer. There's a whole big story to that story. It's not just about the shooting, but it's about this individual's past history and what was happening on that very day that the police were called. That is the story that you should be talking about, and it's that woman who was being abused, who was being attacked. No one even goes to her side and protects her. Not one single woman's voice goes to protect that woman. That woman's tossed to the side because there's a political agenda here to protect that criminal that was shot. Some of you might not like those words, but you have to look at the entire story, the entire history of this individual. It's not just one-sided. It has a whole story built around it that needs to be taken into consideration if you want to make a good judgment. Now we can say, well, he probably doesn't need to have that many bullets in him, which is probably true. But you have to look at the entire story, not just a piece of it. Not just a piece of it. So here we go again today. We have another day. Another bunch of politics. Another bunch of nonsense. Nancy Pelosi still wants her apology from the salon owner. She's not going to get it. So you see, this one bad hair day is a really bad hair day for all of America because we have to hear about this nonsense and then we have to talk about it and we have to scorn her because she is a idiot. I'm tired of all this. I tell you, I'm so looking forward to November coming so I can cast my vote. And by the way, I will be going to the ballot. I will have my mask on. I will have my voter ID card with me. And I'm going to cast my vote because I did it a few weeks ago and it was safe and sound. And I'm going to do it again in November. And I encourage every single one of you, do not believe in this mail-in ballot. Your mail-in ballot will probably never be counted. It might even get lost. It might even get destroyed. Go to the poll and freaking vote. Do the American thing. Do the American way of life of voting, that we go to the polls and we cast our vote and we see our vote going into the machine. And we get our sticker that says I vote, and you go home and you wait for the results. Democrats know that if they can create chaos in the mail system, that they can prolong this thing of whoever wins that election knowing what's going on. They know it's going to create chaos, and that's what they want. They want to create this chaos to all of Americans. And I'm tired of this chaos. So in November, I am going to the voting booth and I'm going to cast my vote. If you need a ride, let me know and I'll take you there if you're in West Palm Beach. If you're in West Palm Beach and you need a ride to get to the voting poll building or wherever you're casting your vote at, let me know. I'll drive you. But do not send in your vote. I mean, if you have an absentee ballot, if you're in travel, or if you're sick and you need an absentee ballot, you can call your state and they'll ask you some specific questions about you, and then they'll send you a packet, and then you vote from there. And you have to be very specific on how you fill that out and send it back. But if you're getting a vote by mail thing in your mailbox, shred it, toss it. Step on it, stomp on it. Do not vote that way because you will lose your vote. I guarantee you, you will lose your vote. Okay, that's enough for politics. I got to get ready for my next podcast, which is going to be about business. I enjoy talking about business because I live it every single day. But politics, I despise. You know, at one point in time this year, 2019, in 2019, I thought about running for Congress in my district here in Palm Beach. But as I watched the politicians and how dirty they are, I said, you know what? It really takes someone that's more political inclined than I am, because I'm afraid that I would have been spitting fire. Because I speak how I feel. And I speak how it makes common sense, and a lot of people don't want to hear that. And I understand that, but I speak from my heart. I think the process through before I speak, but I speak it from my heart in a way that people will understand, hopefully. I tell you, politics, most disgusting thing ever. We have let our government go out of control, that is for sure. But it's up to us to cast our vote and make changes. We are the hatchet men and women that are going to make changes in this government. It's up to us. Our vote matters. Our lives matter. Our nation matters. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. And by the way, if you want to send me a text, if you want to send me a comment, send it to 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. If you want to know more about me and my business, go to www.lodge-co.com. Talk with you soon, everybody. Have a great day. For God's sake, don't go to the barber today. You might be in the news. Bye-bye. By the way, this podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.